The guardianship of the guardianship terminates in the following cases. In the following instances, the guardian's right of hijanat comes to an end. Death of the guardian, his removal, court of wards taking over the superintendence of the minor attaining the majority, the minor girl marrying a person capable of her hasin, the father of the male minor again qualifying to be his guardian. So it was observed by the Andhra Pradesh High Court in Khatija Begum versus Ghulam Dastagir that merely by marrying second time the father did not disqualify to remain a guardian unless his continuation was against the welfare, well-being or interest of the child. Ladies and gentlemen, the main uh, point for discussion today is that under Muslim law, a father enjoys more dominant position in regard to the custody and guardianship of children. Even when mother has custody over the child, the father has right of supervision and control as a guardian. And this point has been affirmed by the Privy Council itself in the famous case Imam Bandi versus Mutasaddi. In this case, the court held it is perfectly clear that under Muhammadan law, the mother is entitled only to the custody of the person of her minor child up to certain age according to the sex of the child or gender of the child. But she is not a natural guardian. The father alone, or if he be dead, his executor under Sunni law is the legal guardian of the minor. Under Shia law, a mother's right to custody of her minor children, that is hisanat, extends until a son is 2 years old and a daughter attains the 7 years. Under Hanafi law, mother is entitled to the custody of her son till he reaches the age of 7 years, and in case of the daughter, she attains the age of puberty. The mother's right continues even if she is divorced from her father of the child, unless she remarriages, in which case the custody belongs to the father. This, however, is not a rigid rule, and the court can deviate from the general rule if the welfare of the child so demands. Where there is a conflict in the application of the provision of personal law and the Guardian and Ward Act 1890, the latter will prevail. As remarked by the court in Pulkal Asiya Kutti versus P.A. Samad, IR 2005, principle exhorted by personal law cannot be read in isolation and divorced from the provisions of Guardian and Ward Act. The overriding consideration is welfare of the child, and personal law would yield to the provisions of that. In Muhammad Khalis versus Zinat Parveen, Abdul Kalam versus Akhtari Baby, it has been held that father claimed that under their personal law they had preferential right over the custody of minor children. The court negated this contention and held that even though as a natural guardian, father may have prima facie right to the minor's custody, this may be negated if the infant's welfare lies in keeping him with the mother. Children cannot be treated as chattel, as property over whom legal rights should be asserted. The court emphasized a mother who marries a stranger is not disqualified to have the custody of the child. In Irfan Ahmed Sheikh versus Mumtaz, custody of female child was given to the mother. Mother's marriage with the child's father was resolved. A renowned researcher, Sonali Abhang, in his research paper published in a reputed journal of humanities and social sciences, has raised two pertinent issues with regard to the custody and legal guardianship in general. A researcher is also perhaps a teacher, as mentioned at the footnote. The first point raised by her regarding the custody and guardianship is the superior position of the father in case of guardianship. The second is indeterminacy of the welfare of the child principle. The researcher in her paper has discussed the issues at length. Uh, the researcher Abhang uh, has discussed the first issue, superior position of the father, at length. She is of the opinion and has found in the course of her research that under Guardians and Ward Act 1890, the discrimination between the mother and father in terms of the guardianship has been removed by 2010 amendment to section 19. But discrimination between parents continues under the Hindu Minority and Guardians Act 1950 as far back as 1890 regarding the preferential position given to the father under section 6A(b) A of the Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act 1956. The Law Commission of India on this point has reflected in the following words. Thus, the statutory recognition has been accorded to the objectionable proposition that father is entitled to the custody of a minor child in preference to the mother. Apart from the fact that there is no rational basis for according an inferior position in order of preference to the mother vis-a-vis father, the proposition is vulnerable to challenge on the several grounds. In first place, it discloses an anti-feminine bias. It reveals age-old distrust for women, doubt over her competency, and feeling of superiority for men and inferiority for women. Whatever may have been justification for the same in past, assuming there is no warrant for persisting with this ancient prejudice, at least after ushering in of the Constitution of India, which proclaims the right of women to equality and guarantees non-discrimination on the ground of the sex under the lofty principle enshrined in Article 15. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, Clause 3 of Article 15 by necessary implication gives the prevision of beneficial legislation geared to the special needs of the women and children with pro-women and pro-children bias. It is indeed strange that in the face of the said constitutional provision, the discrimination against women has been tolerated for nearly 4 decades. The Commission had recommended amending Section 6A to constitute both father and mother as being the natural guardian jointly and severally, having equal rights in respect of minor and his property. The problem is further highlighted by the inconsistency between the superior position of the father in statutory law and recent judicial thinking on the parental roles. In Padmaja Sharma vs. Ratan Lal Sharma 2000, the Supreme Court held that the mother was equally responsible to pay towards the maintenance of the child. While pursuing the goal of equality in parental responsibility is laudable, the decision leads to an ironic result the mother is not deemed a natural guardian and therefore does not have a say in the significant decision affecting the child, but she has equal financial responsibility towards the child. Similarly, in 2004 judgment commenting on the judgment of the Karnataka High Court that reversed the family court order and allowed the mother custody of minor daughter, the Supreme Court has noted, we make it clear that we don't subscribe to the general observations and comments made by the High Court in favor of mother as parent to be always preferable to the father to retain custody of her. In our considered opinion, such generalization in favor of the mother should not have been made. Equality between the parent is goal that needs to be pursued, and indeed the law should not make the preference between the parents based on the gender. However, such equality cannot be only in terms of roles and responsibility, but must also be in terms of the rights and legal position of the parents. Thus, first step towards reform in this area is to dismantle the preferential position of the father and make both the mother and father natural guardians of the minor. Ladies and gentlemen, the researcher Abhang has made a potential advocacy through his research paper, that father and mother are in ordinary course of the circumstances be given the equal right of custody and guardianship, because giving the preference to the father over the mother amounts violation of gender equality as guaranteed under relevant articles of the constitution, as well as mandate of uh, international laws dealing with the gender equality. Therefore, the respected researcher has made a powerful point that instead of giving the technical or mechanical interpretation to the parents in terms of the guardianship and custody, better is that a clear law should be enacted in place of section 6, providing that father and mother will be the guardian. At a time both will be, because, and this is very natural also, that suppose A and W are the husband and wife, from them there is a child S. Now, from the birth of the child S, father is the guardian of the child and mother is entitled only to the care or custody of the child, that is to the hijanat of the child, only that too up to 5 years or 7 years or till the termination of minority having regard to the sex. Only after the father, mother will be, means if the father is not taking care, father is indifferent, even in view of Gita Hariharan decision, still the discrimination persists in other way, that if father and mother both are living together, both are paying the equal attention to the welfare of the child, both are contributing to the development of the child, both are fully interested in the welfare or the and both are the equal partner in the both are equally contributing to the best interest of the child, even then in law father is only the guardian of the minor, mother is entitled only to the custody. Why? Very natural question. And therefore advocacy has been made that if both the partners are placed in a situation from where both are capable to contribute for the upbringing of the child. So why not both? As father is guardian, at the same time mother should also be guardian. As mother is entitled to the custody of the child, at the same time father should also be connected with the caring of the child. And under Muslim law, the position is entirely different. Under Muslim law, only father will be the guardian of the person as well as property of the minor. Having regard to the and in this way, a position of the father with regard to the guardianship is superior to the position of mother, whereas both are the natural parents. Therefore, in therefore here friends, I have already spoken that now the point is being raised, and to certain extent improvement has been made through the judicial decisions with regard to the guardianship of joint guardianship or of the, but in law it is still same. So as and therefore now the parliament should take a call on this issue, and the guardianship and custody law should be made gender neutral and religion neutral. Gender neutral and and religion neutral should be, and therefore as Muslim Women Protection of Rights and Divorce Act has been enacted, as Muslim Women Protection on Marriage Act 2019 has been enacted. On the same line, in gender neutral and a gender and religion neutral law regarding the custody and guardianship should be enacted in order to ensure the well-being of the child, because now the time has changed, and if one conducts the survey, will find that in some of the cases mother is in better position to be the guardian of the child because of her economic condition, because of her educational qualification, because of her own family background, because of her extensive socialization. Well, because of all these reasons, sometimes in some cases mother may be in better position than the father to be the caretaker or guardian of the person as well as the property of the minor. But under Muslim law, despite the fact that in given circumstance mother may be fully qualified, competent, experienced to take care of the child as compared to the grandfather, because when there is a death of the father, in normal cases, a grandfather may be in the extreme old age, maybe in the old age. How can he be? How can he take as much care of the child as any younger person? But since mother is not a guardian, all the decision will be taken by the father with regard to the future of the child, whereas the grandfather may not be exposed to the given situation in the circumstances. He may be a normal person, less educated. Mother may be more educated, more qualified, more experienced, more exposed to the surroundings. But law provides that if there is no father under Muslim law, grandfather will be the or his executor, but mother cannot be lawful guardian of the minor. Only father, and after him executor. Suppose the father appointed in his life someone, some relative as the executor, he has died. There is a mother at one hand, there is an executor of the father on other hand. According to the Muslim law, executor is to be given as per law. He is entitled to be the guardian of the minor, whereas there may be mother. All the time the child may be attached with the mother, may be under the care of the mother. Mother may be spending each and everything, every moment for the welfare of the child, but decision will be subject to, will be taken by the executor. And therefore, now the very genuine point are being raised by the uh, researchers, jurists, lawyers, that now the time has matured to reconsider or reenact the guardianship and custody laws that should be gender neutral and religion neutral. Means whosoever is father and mother, if both are living together, giving the full attention to the child, are not indifferent, then both the parents should at a time be considered as joint guardian of the minor. Joint decision should be there. Joint care, and this joint care, joint decision will be more beneficial to the future of the child, to the future career of the child. Advocacy is being developed at various level, that in normal course of the circumstances, both the parents should be in law lawful guardian of the person as well as of the property of a minor child. Now this is the clarion call, this is the demand of the time. This is the demand of the time because of the overall expansion of the rights, since now it is the regime of the gender equality, gender rights, and therefore are taken into account the gender equality and gender right. Now this guardianship and custody law requires the revisit by the parliament, by the courts, and I think days are not ahead when our Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court, in appropriate case will take a call and will make the recommendation to the government to revisit this law relating to the guardianship as well as the custody of minor children. Thank you very much.